Are you sure?
I'm positive.
All right, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to the podcast. This is Third Thoughts. It is Tuesday, January 30th. The 30th.
The 30th.
We've already gone through almost an entire month of this year.
Wow.
Happened
And
fast.
I bet for those of you that still write checks are still putting 2017.
Probably.
Does
Sometimes.
anybody write checks anymore?
No, I don't. I've never written one check in my life. Did you know that? I've never written a paper check.
Really?
Never. Now, like, I've used, when we've had to do, like, business stuff, I've taken a business check and written one, but I've
Right.
never written a personal check.
Have you ever played a cassette tape?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
A record?
Yes.
A vinyl record?
Yes. I have played a vinyl record. I used to have not a record player, but I used to have, like, a tape recorder. The mini tapes?
Oh, yeah, the mini tapes.
Yeah. I used to have a mini tape recorder when I was a kid.
Like a dictation recorder.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I used to do, like, captain's logs, like, from Star Trek.
No rapping?
No rapping. They were just, like, captain's logs about my life, which was usually playing, like, PlayStation 2 and stuff, so.
Gotcha.
Really interesting. I wish I had them. I might have them somewhere.
Yeah. That'd be interesting to listen to.
They are. It's really funny because it was around the time, like, I probably was going through puberty because some of the tapes have really high-pitched Clay, and some of the later tapes are funny voice-changing Clay, so.
Yeah.
Might be worth getting out just to goof on.
So like high-pitched Clay and then what I refer to as dolphin Clay.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody say, right.
Was it ever that bad? I don't remember it being that terrible.
No, probably not. And that did not sound like a dolphin, by the way.
No, that was maybe river dolphin, pink dolphin.
Maybe. I don't know.
Anyway, everybody, welcome to the podcast. My name is Clay. I'm here with the chief himself in the flesh.
I'm here.
And today we got a good show for you. It's a momentous day, Chief.
State of the Union.
State of the Union, and also ultra super blue blood moon.
Those two things could hook up.
I'm wondering if it's planned. I wonder if there's a reason that this is coinciding in the same day.
What if during the State of the Union, on the rare blue blood moon,
Yeah, super.
North Korea hits us with an EMP?
That would just... I feel like that's insult to injury because we already have to endure the State of the Union and everybody freaking out on social media about the blood moon, and then we have to deal with the EMP. That would take care of both problems. We wouldn't have to. We wouldn't.
Are you going to watch the State of the Union?
Probably not. I'll watch some clips tomorrow. Probably. That's usually how I handle it, since I'm not in 10th grade history anymore, and
Yeah,
we're not forced to watch it.
I haven't decided.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't decided.
Do you normally watch it?
Half-heartedly.
Yeah. See, I like talk radio, so I usually just kind of pick up
Yeah, but see, I've got like
the highlights. I get the
3
highlights.
episodes of Chain of Command recorded.
Oh, you got TV to watch.
5 episodes of Inside Combat Rescue recorded. And then there's always Channel 604, the Pursuit channel that does not carry
Oh, yeah.
State of the Union, but has some quality hunting and fishing programs on.
Well, I can see how that would keep you from watching.
Also, Under the Dome.
You got a lot of shows going. How do you keep so many shows going on at one time?
Just watch a lot of TV.
I
don't let other life things get in the way of my television consumption.
You couldn't. There's nothing more important than that, right? Keeping
Right.
up to date. Well, you look good. You're healthy.
I feel good.
Feel pretty good. I feel pretty good too.
Eating
Actually,
half a box of
donut
holes.
You have eaten that half box before we started the show. What are you going to do during the show?
I'm not hungry anymore.
Yeah, but you look good. You look healthy.
But my back's a little sore.
Your back is sore.
And I was going to do some yoga and stretch it out.
Yeah. What happened to that?
Well, I found this article that said Americans who practice yoga contribute to white supremacy.
Oh, man. Okay. How so?
And then I found out who did the study, and it kind of made me doubt because it's Michigan State University that did the study. So probably all of the people who were studied are probably assaulted in some way. Because they assault everybody up there.
Yeah, they just assaulting.
But no, evidently, white people who do a downward-facing dog are contributing to a system of power, privilege, and oppression. That because yoga classes cost money, that only white privileged people can attend the classes, and it is an attack against those who can't afford the classes for that means of health. And it is also discriminatory towards people from India where the whole art originated. So if you're doing yoga right now while you're listening to this podcast, stop.
Do you think anybody's actually doing yoga right now as they listen to this? Would you listen to our voices while you did yoga?
Yeah, I don't know that I would listen to our voices.
Period.
I mean,
fair point. That's a fair point. I don't know that I ever do yoga, period.
So listen, I riding in the car yesterday, and my daughter and I, we listened to some podcasts while we're in the car, riding around.
Rage.
So I handed my phone back to Lexi. I said, Ellie, pick us a podcast episode to watch, because we listened to this thing called The Meat Eater, which is this hunting podcast.
Shout out Meat Eater.
Yeah, Steven Ranella. Listen, it's very entertaining, but it does have some language issues occasionally, but they're usually marked with an E. We try to avoid those.
Okay.
So I hand it back. I think I'm going to hear the Meat Eater podcast, and it was the latest episode of Third Thoughts.
Wow. So she's a fan.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, what is this junk we're listening to? And then I realized it was us.
How long did it take you to realize?
We were probably 4 minutes into it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, you know, I think podcast is the new thing. It's the new rage, right?
Yeah.
It's not new at all. Isn't it funny how things do that?
Yeah, but I do think a lot of people are listening to podcasts now.
I know. It's like all of a sudden there's this resurgence of podcasts.
But I think I found out why.
Okay. You've been doing some research?
An accidental discovery.
Okay.
I watched the Grammys on Sunday night, and I am realizing that there is no good music for people to listen to that's being produced right now. So people are listening to podcasts to pass the time instead.
Dang, just calling out the Grammys. You just lit them up. Both barrels.
Not the Grammys. The Grammys are the exact same they've always been. It's the people trying to win the Grammys that are not as good.
So you think there was some snubbing going on? Some people got snubbed?
I believe that possibly a J to the Z. I think I've segged right into your way, so why don't you take that away?
Actually, I don't have a Grammy story. Did you think I did?
Well, yeah, because I read a story somewhere about Jay-Z getting snubbed.
I did see that in passing as I was researching.
He looked very... Did you watch the Grammys?
No, I actually didn't watch him. I normally do. I didn't watch him.
He looked very strange.
How so?
Like he was very tense and on edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was...
I don't know. Pretty much when Kanye stopped going, I just kind of stopped watching.
The entertainment value went down.
It really did. I mean,
they're very predictable now.
I know.
I mean, now somebody comes out on the stage, they give you the nominees, and then somebody wins, and Kanye doesn't run up and grab the microphone and say, I'll let you finish.
Right.
I'll let you finish.
Right.
Beyonce had the best video in the world.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yep.
Yeah, so,
without the possibility of that happening,
Kim doesn't let him do it anymore because she needs help with her Instagram posting inappropriate pictures of herself.
I don't understand that either, man. Hollywood's a weird place.
Listen, my wife As
Yeah.
we know, she is our Kardashian insider.
She's in the field.
She
Yes.
she knows all things Kardashian, and she actually commented on Kim K's Instagram post how shameful and classy her
Classy.
post were. Sarcastic.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
classy. That was, which started a conversation about how can you be for #MeToo
Right.
and present yourself like a hooker.
Right. No, I
I mean, those things
that's a
are
very valid
contradictory of one another.
point. Very valid point.
It's called defrauding,
Yes.
to raise a desire that can't righteously be fulfilled. And if you present yourself in that way, you can't also stand against atrocities that are happening against your gender.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, it's counterproductive.
Counterintuitive.
Just counter.
Just anti.
Anti.
Yeah. You know, I don't know why there seems to be an uptick not only of podcast listening, but also those kinds of stories. So I tried to not get those stories because I feel like we were hitting. Remember, there was a
Sorry,
stretch.
I was just-
No, it's fine. No,
Yeah.
not today. But I mean, there was a stretch of podcast episodes where we dealt with sexual harassment, and it was just like the same news stories, basically just new names inserted into these stories.
Liam Neeson said it's a witch hunt.
And
I'm not saying I agree. I'm just saying that that's what Liam Neeson says.
And it could be, or we could just be seeing, because there's also an uptick of stories about other types of abuse, particularly parents to children. You notice that?
Yeah, don't things run in those cycles though?
I suppose they do.
It's like podcast uptick.
Yes.
This particular immorality uptick. It's like everything runs in circles, and everything runs according to the bias of media.
Whatever gets the clicks, you know.
Because really, I think this is a derivative going way back to when, Trump's tape came out of his locker room talk with Billy.
Whoever it was.
Yeah,
I don't
whoever it
remember.
was. And the media hung on to that, and they could not believe that America didn't grab hold of it. So they just kept going. And now these things have started coming out with Harvey Weinstein and this Nassar guy at Mississippi State. And listen, that's going to run way up the ladder.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
telling you, it's going to run way up the ladder. It's already touched the football program. It's already touched the basketball program. It's going to run way up the ladder. Now there's an investigation being done into the Olympic gymnastics, that ranch, whatever it's called, that funny name, where the FBI is now probing the entire ranch there.
Jeez, man.
It's gonna run crazy. But yeah, we do see a lot of that, and I think it's because it gets the clicks.
Yeah, it does.
They find new stories and throw it out there, and they just keep that momentum rolling. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know if there's more of it or if it's just being uncovered more. Not real sure. But anyway, what you got over there, Clay?
Well, speaking of upticks, there's been an uptick of flu, right?
Yes.
Because we're in the flu season. But this year has been particularly bad, epidemic even. I heard last night 25 confirmed deaths due to the flu in Georgia alone.
Wow.
That's a lot, right? And then you were telling me earlier about the flu over on the Korean Peninsula.
Yes.
That threatens the Olympics now.
Yes.
That it was swine flu, and so they're incinerating.
H1N1?
Is that H1N1 swine flu?
I don't know. I made that up.
No, I think you're right. Because H3N2 is also in an outbreak in the United States.
Yeah.
Do you know what that one is?
No.
That is dog flu.
Dog flu.
So
You
dogs,
gotta be joking, man. My Pomeranian sneezed last night.
Well, it could possibly be the flu. Here's the thing, though. Unlike other types of flu, you can't catch the flu from your dog, and you can't give a dog the flu. But apparently, you can give it to a cat.
What, you can give dog flu to a cat?
Just the flu.
The flu to a cat.
You can't catch the flu from a dog, and you can't give a dog the flu, but you can transfer it between a cat and yourself.
Wow.
Weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's an uptick of dog flu right now, but apparently it's nothing to worry about. This happens all the time. And the symptoms are the same. Did you know that? They get stuffy, they sneeze, watery eyes. They're generally kind of less active. Yeah, so there's a lot of flu going on. But here's something else interesting. Another uptick. That apparently Americans are saving energy because they're going outside less.
What?
Yep. So
Personal energy or electrical energy?
like energy, like electrical energy.
Okay, I'm not saving electrical energy, evidently.
Uh-huh.
My power bill was almost $700. Directly attributed to the new pet my daughter has, that she feels that the room needs to be 100 degrees.
Right.
So she keeps her space heater turned on to 100. It's at least 100 degrees in her room.
That's ridiculous.
So guess what? The pet is now cold.
Yeah.
Now that we got...
Cold pet. Hope it
Yes.
doesn't get the flu. Is there hedgehog flu?
I prefer not to say the name of the pet because I may or may not supposed to own the pet
Oh,
in the current state that I live.
we don't know. No one knows where we are. Except the government and everybody else.
Except that we say it in every podcast.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Not every podcast. But here's the thing. Okay.
Uptick me on
Uptick.
the power
Yeah.
conservation.
In 2012, Americans spent 8 extra days at home compared to 2003.
Okay.
Okay. According to American Time Use surveys, being at home means using more energy by keeping lights on and watching TV, but it also means less travel. And it means that fewer people are operating offices and stores. So overall in 2012, according to, I think this is in Britain, they saved 17 trillion British thermal units of heat, or 1%. No, this is American. So, or 1.8% of the national total.
Correct. A BTU.
BTU is the British thermal unit.
Yeah, but that's not just in Britain. There's
That's
BTUs
a standard-
everywhere. It's
standard
a standard
BTU.
unit. Yes.
Yes.
Of
I don't-
thermal measurement.
I don't think of BTUs. I think of therms. Therms is heat too.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think therm is equal to a BTU.
probably it's just a short.
It's a different
Yeah. It's
name.
just a shorter name.
Yeah. Specifically in 2012, Americans spent 1 day less traveling and 1 week less in buildings other than their homes when compared to a decade earlier. The trend of staying indoors is especially strong for those ages 18 to 24. You spent 70% more time at home than the general population. So people aged 18 to 24 spent 70% more time at home than people of other ages.
Because they were at home in the bed and playing video games.
At the other end of the spectrum, those 65 and older were the only group that spent more time outside compared to a decade ago. How about that?
Really?
So people in the sunset of their lives are going out to experience the sunset
Yes.
more often.
The blue blood moon.
Yeah, I say that 3 times fast. Yeah, so interesting. Do you think there might be a correlation? This is what I immediately thought when I read the article. Mm-hmm. Given the other upticks we've talked about, not necessarily the flu, but maybe.
Yeah.
But
Stock market.
the interest in podcasts,
Yes.
the interest in all those TV shows that you got going on,
Sure.
and the interest in, I guess, kind of the, and maybe this is why this stuff comes out, but the media is looking for news that's interesting.
Yes.
People are consuming more news.
Right.
Do you think it's all correlated? It's all related to it, of us spending more time at home, spending more time in boredom, isolated from other activities.
Oh, good theory.
That would preoccupy our minds to the point where we wouldn't be looking for juicy news.
Right.
So the media wouldn't have any incentive to make juicy headlines for juicy clicks.
Let's face it. I mean, if you're out on the ski slope
Mm-hmm.
or if you're hiking to the waterfall, you're not thinking about what's happening on Instagram.
Right. I mean, you might be trying to take one to put on your Instagram.
Yeah, not me, but I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, you're not scrolling through your feed.
Right.
You're engaged in an activity.
Yeah, I'm not probably, unless I'm by myself, I'm not listening to a podcast
Right.
if I'm outside walking around.
Podcast is a pretty solitary activity if you're consuming them, I would say.
Right. I mean, when I'm cleaning the kitchen,
Yeah.
it's on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm down feeding the chickens, it's usually
Right.
in my pocket, playing out of my back pocket.
Yep. In your commute, you're in the car by yourself.
Right. Absolutely. Pretty much just comes on when I get in the car.
Right. So you think we're bored? Do you think
Yes.
humanity is getting bored?
I think humanity is in a relentless pursuit of mindless, effortless entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
Okay.
Now, I'm not trying to pick anybody's audience apart, but a lot of people listen to podcasts to find other people's ideas to just make them their own ideas.
Yes.
That's what we don't encourage an audience like that here with our podcast.
Right.
We want them to think and rethink, to engage in the dialogue with us, even argue with us, so that we can engage people on another level of thought.
Well, and I try to bring up stories too that are not necessarily talked about as much.
Yeah, see, I just really the way that I come up with what I talk about is I just click on the page and I scroll my phone with my thumb with my thumb
With your phone.
And when my thumb scroll stops, whatever's in the center of the screen is the story I talk about.
Really?
No, that's not. That's a lie.
That's like news roulette. It's like just a total toss up. I want to talk about something else too that's interesting because of what happened about an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago. Do you know what I'm referring to? It happened here 2 hours ago.
I went to the bathroom.
Nope. After that.
When I fell asleep.
Yes. So I was sitting here reading.
Yeah.
And then I heard a snore from across the hall.
Right.
And then you were alerted by the phone ringing.
I almost bit my tongue off.
Yeah. But apparently,
Uh-huh.
there's this method of sleeping
Yeah.
that's to boost productivity.
That's what I do.
So it's called polyphasic sleeping.
That polyphasic sleep, that was my intentionality.
And basically you sleep in 20-minute bursts.
Oh,
So you operate productively
yes.
for 90 minutes and then you sleep for 20 minutes.
Okay, this is not a new thought. This was on Seinfeld.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's new. I'm just saying the new part
I'm
of
saying
this.
Kramer did this on Seinfeld. He called it Da Vinci power naps.
Uh-huh.
And he slept 15 minutes. No, yeah, he would sleep he would take a 15-minute nap, and then he would get up. And he ended up only sleeping like an hour and a half a day or something like that, maybe 2 hours a day. And he was exhausted by the end of the episode.
Gotcha. Well, so, okay. It's not a new idea.
Okay.
But the thing, apparently, this is how it works. There's core sleep, all right, which is like your long nap. So anywhere from 90 minutes to 6 hours, supplemented by 20-minute burst naps. Okay? Length of core sleep and the number of naps varies, but people on this schedule spend a total of 3 to 7 hours of sleep. So as opposed to the 8 or 9 in one chunk in the nighttime,
12,
like
14.
most of us, right?
Right.
12, 14, good Lord.
I'm just throwing it out there sometimes.
On the weekend, maybe. Another schedule consists of only 20-minute naps spaced throughout the entire day, totaling only 2 to 3 hours of sleep per day.
Your naps are 2 to 3 hours per day.
Total. It's 20-minute naps spaced out over the entire day, so you sleep 2 to 3 hours.
In a 24-hour period.
Yeah. But you sleep 20 minutes at a time. So the reason this is a story right now is because it's apparently dangerous.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, let me just, okay. So if I sleep, or how many hour and 50-minute segments are in a day?
How many hour and 50-minute segments?
So 12.
12.
A little
Roughly.
over 12.
Yeah.
Okay, so if every hour and 50 minutes, 20 minutes of that is sleep, and there's 12 of those, that's 240 or 4 hours of sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I could see how things could go really wrong.
Well, so the reason they do this is because by spacing out sleep time, it maximizes the amount you spend, amount of time you spend in REM sleep, which is the best sleep, right?
Okay.
It's slow wave, and that's when the most memory storage and mood regulation, and it's the most restorative sleep, REM sleep, right? So people who ascribe to this polyphasic sleep thing think the other stages of the cycle are just unnecessary. That REM is king, and as long as you get the REM in, you're fine.
Which stands for rapid eye movement.
Yes. Yes. So,
I don't know if it really stands for that or not, does it?
no, it does.
Okay.
Rapid eye movement, yeah. REM. Mm-hmm.
It's also a band out of Athens.
Yeah, it is. But apparently, according to these doctors from the University of California, Los Angeles, and the Sleep Disorders Center, that this is actually bad for you. Mm-hmm. That this is actually, you're at a higher risk because you're not getting the length, even though you're getting little short bursts of the quote-unquote best sleep, you're not getting the length of sleep still. You're only getting 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
Total. And so you're at more risk for chronic disease, exhaustion.
Crashing your car.
Right. Risk of accidents.
Falling asleep at the office.
Obesity. Yeah. Because sleep deprivation disrupts your hormone levels and spikes your blood sugar and appetite. How about that?
Wow.
How about that? So maybe your office naps are not so good.
But I'm adding those to the sleep that I already get at night.
Your core.
My core sleep.
How long is your core sleep on average? I know it varies, but on average.
You know, Clay, it does vary. Sometimes, okay, I'm not even going to exaggerate. Very rarely am I in the bed before 11
p.m. Yep.
Most of the time, it's much later. 1, 2.
Oof.
And I'm up 6:45 or so.
Oof.
So, yeah, I mean, when you look at that, I'm really only getting some nights 4 to 5 hours of core sleep. So I'm going to need those 20-minute, what are they called?
Polyphasic
Naps. As a matter of fact, the other day, yesterday,
Yeah.
I was in line at the drugstore.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why it takes people so long to get their medicine at the drugstore.
It's a notoriously slow line.
I got some polyphasic sleep
in the line.
in the line. A very short one because Lexi started talking in the back seat. Again, almost bit my tongue off because I forgot where I was at.
Why is your first reaction upon being startled awake to bite your tongue off?
I don't know. My tongue must be out of my mouth when I'm sleeping is the only thing I can think.
So you bite down really quick.
Yeah, you know, like when they dart those animals.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do is their tongue hangs out
Yeah,
the
'cause
side
they
of their
go
mouth. That
numb.
must be what happens to me. I don't know.
in normal sleep.
In normal sleep. Absolutely.
Yeah, so if somebody would like to try polyphasic sleep to its truest form, these 20-minute naps all day long, and you want to donate your findings to Third Thoughts so we can discuss if this is actually good or bad. According to these professionals, it's bad. But I'm interested.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting to think because everybody's different. Some people need more sleep. Some people need less.
Yeah.
Depending on your age and your weight. And
as we talk about this, I'm just going to be honest with you. I have no way to segue or transition to anything I have out of this particular dialogue.
Really?
I've been looking for a way for the last 2 to 3 minutes,
Really?
and there is no segue to anything I have.
That's okay. You're making it right now.
Yeah.
Make your own way.
I can't even. You're going to have to go with another story because everything I have is going to seem like such a hard shift of gears. It's not even going to make sense. People's minds can't even.
They couldn't handle it, so maybe they would be emotionally compromised.
I have a strange. Maybe I just have a strange set of stories. I'm
Look,
not sure.
Okay, so to avoid people's emotional state crumbling due to the shift of topics.
Yes.
So they may need a support animal if you did that.
Maybe a pedophile.
Speaking of support animals, a woman was denied her emotional support peacock. United would not allow this woman to take her emotional support peacock onto the flight.
Because of its size.
Reported earlier this week.
Yeah. The reason they gave
She had a second ticket for the peacock, but the airline denied her request.
Have you ever heard a peacock? I mean, full blown in peacock calling.
I don't think so.
If that thing busted loose on an airplane, it would be terrifying, dude. It would be terrifying. But not only that, but in that same story, it also talks about Delta Airlines, who has also already made some adjustments to the accepted, and they don't take any exotic animal or any hooved animal, spider or reptile.
Ferrets, insects, spiders, goats, or animals with tusks or hooves.
Oh, not reptiles. Okay.
I don't see reptiles.
Who would have an emotional support tarantula? Elvira?
Maybe. Member of the Addams family?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, but let's back up to what actually happened here. This woman bought 2 tickets.
Right.
One for her,
Yeah.
Right. Naturally. Everybody has to buy their own ticket.
Bought a
But
ticket
she had another ticket
for her peacock.
for her emotional support peacock, and she paid good money for this ticket for the peacock to ride the plane with her. So I don't know, man. This kind of feels like a little bit of injustice to me. I mean, she did buy the ticket.
But how do you even strap a peacock in the seat?
Okay, actually, that makes me think. How do you even buy the ticket? You know how you have to put in information on the website? Like name,
Sounds a little
date of
fishy.
birth. Like, how did she even buy a ticket for a peacock?
Passport. Oh, yeah, maybe she was flying domestic.
Right. But you still have to put, like, name and
I
birthday.
guess she put first name P, last name Cock.
Or first name emotional support, last name peacock.
Yeah. Or maybe its name was Keith. And she put
Did she put her last name, or did she make up a last name?
or Peafowl. Keith Peafowl.
I guess that could be a name.
Yeah. Date of birth, hatch day. I mean, I don't know.
I'm wondering. I really would like to see what that ticket says.
What I would really like to see is when she cleared security with it.
With the peacock.
Did she clear security? Did she get to the gate and she was denied at the gate?
I don't think so.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to put the peacock in a separate bin from your laptop. A separate bin. Nothing can be in the bin with the laptop.
Man, please remove the peacock from
You
your
can
backpack.
put your shoes and the peacock in the same bucket, but you can't put it in with your laptop.
Does the peacock have to like flap its wings in the metal detector?
Ma'am, can you get this peacock to put its head down? It won't go through the system.
Does it ride on the belt or does it go through the stand-up detector?
It could go through the stand-up detector.
But does it have to spread its wings out?
Yeah, but if it's the one that zoop,
plume.
zoop, zoop, zoop like that, you know?
What if it got caught in the
Its
center?
tail would get chopped off because a peacock's tail sticks way out behind it.
So I was wondering if it has to fan it out. You know, we have to raise our arms. It has to fan it out. So we can't smuggle things in on your emotional support peacock.
We're just into ridiculousness now.
This is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. But I mean, I'm not sure if she made it to the gate or not.
See, to me, that's just an interesting thing to know.
Yeah, I imagine it happened at that front desk, you know, where you first check your bag and get your
What if she had an
boarding
e-ticket?
pass.
She didn't have to go there.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, this is a great segue.
Is it?
Yeah, speaking of ridiculous.
Well, is that a great segue? I mean,
Yeah,
that could go to anything, really.
Yeah, pretty much anything we talk about, that can be a
Yes.
segue.
There you go. That's your answer. That's how you do it.
Landscaper Mall Santa Claus, who sought submissive men, is an alleged serial killer, police say.
What?
So he was a landscaper. He also worked as
Mall Santa.
a mall Santa, and he sought submissive men on the internet in order to serial kill them. So
How
this guy-
particular?
okay, yeah, right, but listen, he took the men.
Uh-huh.
Okay, no, let me start over. Some of the reason they found him out is because he worked as a landscaper for these people, and they got ready to go and redo their planters themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And when they changed the soil in their planter, they found dismembered body parts planted in the bottom, or not planted, but in the bottom of their planter.
Can you imagine?
So now police have said, we haven't identified these body parts, but it's possible that there could be other bodies buried in other backyards and planters. So they're asking people to dig up their gardens and planters to see if they can find bodies if this guy has done work for them.
Wait a minute.
So here's the thing. Maybe it's not that he was a serial killer, but he was passionate about gardening, and he had this theory
There's no better fertilizer than
that
human
this
bodies.
organic material would make these people's flowers flourish.
Okay, hold on. I just want to rewind for a second. Okay. So creepy mall Santa landscaper is killing people and then planting them into planters and gardens and yards that he landscapes.
Yes.
And now authorities want people to dig their own yards and planters up to find bodies.
Just because there's the potential that they may be there.
But shouldn't there be like a team of police that do stuff like that?
I think what they have also found out about Mall Santa landscaper is that he did not keep good business records.
Oh.
So they don't know what houses.
So they just have to go on people's memory of him coming there.
Yes.
Well, like, still, shouldn't they, like, call the police and be like, yo, this guy did landscape my house. Can you come? I don't really feel comfortable, like, maybe finding somebody's arm I'm
just going to tell you, dude. I
fern
thought about
planter.
it. Listen, I don't live in Toronto. I don't live in Canada whatsoever. But just the wild possibility, I thought about going to dig my backyard up just to see what I could find.
I feel like there should be a team of cops or somebody to do that. That doesn't seem like a responsibility we should put on the public. hey, dig up your yard. There might be bodies in it. Like, that just seems like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I don't understand the system.
No, not at all. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Speaking of crazy situations involving the police, though.
Yes.
So, Seville, Spain.
Is that a name or a place?
It's a place.
Okay.
Seville, Spain. Police pulled over 2 cars after a short chase. Okay? The officers suspected there was something going on because these 2 cars are driving really close together, right? On the road. So, what happens is they try to pull the cars over. The guys take off. The cars take off. Short chase through a dirt road. They eventually get them pulled over. They open the cars, and they're filled to the top. Okay? Except for the drivers, filled to the top with not marijuana, not cocaine,
Not heroin.
not meth, oranges. The fruit.
It wasn't Sean, was it?
No. These were unless
Were
he was
those
in
oranges
Spain,
or bananas that he had that time?
he had clementines or tangerines.
I can't remember. But his car was full.
Yeah, but this is like next level full. This is like they opened the doors and oranges just
Oh my God.
just
Clay is now
Still-
showing me the picture of a.
You need to look this up. If you're listening, I'll post a link on the Twitter because this is just ridiculous. So these oranges spill out of the cars, right? And later, they also found a truck, like a van, with like bags. Instead of oranges just piled into the van, they were bagged, like giant bags
Okay, so
of oranges.
is it illegal to have these oranges in Spain?
Okay, so the drivers claimed they were coming from very far away, and they had been stopping and collecting oranges on the way. So that's their alibi, okay? Yeah, officer, we're just traveling, just on a road trip, and everywhere we stop, we just buy all the oranges they got because we just like it. We just like to collect them, different oranges from different cities. Even though they're totally indistinguishable, they're all the same kind of orange.
But now let's face it, that is funny.
Oh, it's a hilarious
That is
statement.
something that young people would do.
Yeah, it is. So,
As a matter of fact, I could see our band
here at the church.
here at the church going on a music writing retreat.
Uh-huh.
And somebody looking at another member and saying, hey, I know what we should do. Everywhere we stop, let's buy a bushel of oranges and see how many oranges we have when we get.
That you're right. That is something dumb we would do. But the cops here weren't buying it.
Okay.
But well, and it sounds so ridiculous that you think this has to be a cover up for something else, right?
Right.
So the cops eventually find out there's I just want everybody to understand there is still no drugs involved. The
Right.
story has wrapped now. They have charged 5 people with theft of oranges. They just stole a shipment of oranges and were driving them across the country. There's nothing else to the story. That's the end of the story.
But they're sure that they stole them
Yes.
of oranges.
A couple, their adult son, and 2 brothers. There's an orange theft ring.
Because
I want everybody to understand what I'm
Did
saying.
they-
There are no other substances involved here.
I know, but with the
just oranges.
But with the amount of oranges that they had, did they charge them with possession of oranges with intent to distribute?
Nope.
Or were there enough? Did they think that it was all for personal consumption?
I don't know. I think they just cut it off at theft because what else can you do? That situation is absurd.
And even with that many oranges, were there enough oranges? Well, it's in Spain, so it's not here. But I'm wondering if that's even enough to be a felony. Can you get enough oranges in a car to be a
Hey,
felony?
what are you in for? Well, I was the mastermind behind the orange theft ring. I don't know if you heard about it, but we stole 2,000 oranges.
Speaking of orange,
Okay.
Roger Goodell.
Hang on. I just want to reiterate. There were no other substances involved in the orange story. It's just about oranges. I just want that to sink in, that this was not a drug cover-up like you think it is. I know that's going through your mind. Clay, you didn't read the whole story. It's about drugs. It's not. It's about oranges.
Did they peel the oranges and check to make sure that there were no drugs inside the oranges?
That I don't have any information on. I guess you could inject oranges with stuff.
Well,
why? Well, I guess you could.
That magician, he tore the card up and they opened the orange and it was inside the orange.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe they found a magician.
Maybe maybe they're traveling magicians.
And they needed props.
And they need money.
Yes.
So they needed an obscene amount of oranges to do a show at a circus.
An orange-based magic show.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your segue. Oranges, Roger Goodell. I'm following.
Roger Goodell.
I'm following.
Says that he doesn't see the Washington Redskins changing their nickname.
Their nickname or their team name?
Redskins.
That's the team name, right?
They call it a nickname in the article.
But aren't they the Washington Redskins? That is
their name. But I think the team name is Washington.
Oh, I see. Okay.
They're the Washington Redskins. They're the Atlanta. But when you get to California and some of those places that have multiple teams, I don't know. But yeah, he says and this was spurred because the Cleveland Indians have decided to do away with they won't use Chief Wahoo as their logo anymore.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
So Roger Goodell was asked about it. Are the Redskins going to change their name? He says, yeah, no, I don't think they're going to. They did a poll, and 9 out of 10 Native Americans did not find the name offensive.
Really?
So 1 out of 10 did.
Okay.
1 out of 10 are causing the Cleveland Indians to change their logo. 1 out of 10 scream and yell and protest outside all of these different ball games. There's something wrong in America when the minority, not minorities, but the minority can cause change.
Yeah. Don't we vote? Wow.
To the point where a few years ago, colleges got caught up in the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember.
My Florida State University
Yep.
was under pressure to drop the name Seminoles, even though they have complete support of the Seminole Indian tribe.
Yep. And a Seminole on the team.
That's the first Seminole to ever score a touchdown.
Scored it this year.
Mm-hmm. The princess of the Seminole tribe has a box seat at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Naturally.
They're proud. They are proud that Florida State uses the Seminole name.
Yeah.
But the minority wants to cause change.
Were the Braves ever under
Yes.
scrutiny for this?
I can remember going to a Braves game, and there were actually Native Americans. Well, supposed Native. I didn't DNA test them.
Okay. But they appeared to be.
One of them wearing a headdress, who was obviously not a chief of anything.
Okay.
Okay?
Just, yeah.
The chief doesn't roll down from the res to Fulton County Stadium.
So this is a while back.
Yes, a while back. Yeah, I mean, I maybe even high school.
Okay.
And they were outside beating drums with signs protesting the Braves using the name.
Really?
And the Braves paid for security to protect them from their fans. I watched vendors go out and give them food and drinks. and they took them.
Of course. Of course.
It's like the people protesting Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey for having elephants.
Right.
Listen, the vast majority don't care. I pay money for my kid to see an elephant in the circus.
Mm-hmm.
Were the elephants abused? I never saw them get abused. Possibly, but let me tell you what happened. If they took those elephants and they went and turned them loose, they probably got eaten by a lion or a tiger by now.
Yeah.
Or starved to death because their trunks wouldn't touch the bottom of a ditch and they were too scared to walk across the ditch because their trunks wouldn't touch the bottom to get the green leaves right on the other side, because elephants, even though they don't forget anything, are not smart creatures.
You been watching Planet Earth too?
I watch a lot of TV.
Planet Earth is great.
So yeah, there you have it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fundamental problem with America that the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yes.
You don't have to be right.
Just have to be loud.
You just have to be loud and obnoxious.
Yeah.
You have to be militant about your agenda.
Yep.
So, Clay, what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, is you get a few people. You are you're right down the road from Coca-Cola headquarters.
Yes. Now we're
And
getting to something I care about.
You get some signs.
Yes.
And you take this whole approach that 1 out of 10 Native Americans took.
Yes.
And you go beat a drum or throw a can or whatever you need to do. And you stand outside Coca-Cola Central until you get your Coke Zero back.
I probably should do that. I probably should. Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
here's the thing. It's offensive what they did. Bringing 4 flavors of Diet Coke, which is incredibly redundant. No one needs 4 flavors of the same soda.
one of them cherry.
One of them cherry, which they already had.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Diet Coke cherry.
Maybe there hasn't been a Diet Cherry Coke. But there's Cherry Coke.
And there's Cherry Coke
Zero.
Zero. Yeah, I know that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, we got to hurry. We're running out of time. I still got 2 things I want to talk about.
Well, do you want to go
I've got 3,
ahead?
but I really want to talk about 2 of them.
You want to go ahead? Because I have two update stories from a previous episode.
Okay, yeah, I want to throw this out real fast.
So do your thing, and I'm going to do the update stories, and then we'll close.
The Hawaii alert.
Yep.
You know, everybody said it was just a mistake. They clicked the wrong button.
Oh, actually, this is what I was going to talk about. This is an update story.
Oh, well, I'll save that one.
No, let's go ahead and tackle it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so
Update.
Update.
We mentioned this before on a previous episode.
And this should show you that we don't plan or script this.
Right.
It was not an accident.
Right. This is the breaking news.
The guy intentionally sent out a missile is coming because he heard an alert that said this is not a drill. And he clicked send alert and it said, are you sure you want to send it? He said yes.
Right.
Because he missed the part of the announcement when it came on that said exercise, exercise, exercise. And then it goes through the alert because it was a real alert.
Yeah.
But it was an exercise real alert.
Yeah.
So he didn't hear it, but yet 4 other employees did hear it. And then it supposedly ended with, this is an exercise. But I'm going to be honest with you. I can understand missing the last one.
Right.
Because you're sitting there and you're responsible for telling people the missile's coming, and you hear, this is not a drill. And the blood pressure, your heart is pumping so hard, it's deafening in your ears.
Yeah, I mean,
and the
that's a lot of
mouse click,
responsibility.
I bet when he clicked the mouse, I bet every time he clicked the mouse, it sounded like a cannon going off. Because, I mean, he's about to be the hero of free Hawaii.
Yep. Well, Hawaii in general is probably gone if a missile hits it.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it'll be back. I mean, The volcanoes will build it back. But yeah, I mean, for the time being, yeah, it'll be gone.
Significant amount of time, I think.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, crazy. So
it wasn't incompetence, which is what we all thought. We all thought, oh, well, some idiot didn't know how to say no or run the test. But really, this guy's just afraid for all of our well-being.
yeah, it wasn't incompetence. It was lack of attention.
Yep. Isn't it funny how you can take something out of context, if you miss the exercise context, and pull out the middle of the message, remove it from its context, how you can totally miss it and send the wrong alert.
Wow, that'll preach.
It's just a lesson,
Yeah.
and make sure you're paying attention to what's going on,
So,
to the context.
yeah, next on my agenda.
Sure.
So there's this teacher who in class,
Yeah.
in a Southern California high school teacher who was recorded ranting saying that our military, people that go into the military, are dumb S's.
The explicative.
Yes. Dumb bleep.
Yep. I don't need a beep. I need to get that.
But I'm not going to say the word anyway.
I know, but remind me to download that. It'd be fun.
Okay, so yeah, that they are the dumbest of the dumb, the lowest of the low,
Wow.
and that they shouldn't
An
send
American said this?
to a high school class.
Oh, Lord.
That listen, I don't remember. Think about the people you know who are over there. Your freaking stupid Uncle Louie or whatever. They're not high-level bankers. They're not academic people. They're the freaking lowest of our low. No, they're not high-level bankers. They're soldiers.
Right. I'm not a high-level banker.
And listen, I'm dumb as a rock. I'm not over there.
Right.
They're not lower than me.
Exactly.
They're not dumber than me.
Yeah. I'm not even a good shot.
So they took him out of the classroom. Okay? One of his students, the student that recorded it, this is what he says. I think this dumb teacher, he didn't say dumb teacher, he called his name, but we don't say names.
Sure.
I think this dumb teacher should apologize not only to me, but to all the veterans who fought for our freedom, the veterans who sacrificed their lives. Good for you, young man.
Yeah. Good
for you. Good for you for recording your teacher, saying something idiotic, and tearing down the people that give him. Listen, if it hadn't been for our military, he'd be teaching German right now.
Yep.
Maybe he is a German teacher. I don't know.
Maybe. Wow. I can't believe that. Wait, where was it? Southern California?
Southern California.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Some weird stuff over there. Weird stuff going on.
I'm telling you, I'm all for 2 Americas. I'm all for it.
West.
I don't care how you divide it up.
Just 2 of them.
Yeah, because let's face it, where we live,
Yeah.
regardless of how you divide it, we're going to end up in the conservative part.
Yeah.
If you divide it east and west, we're still in the conservative part.
Yeah.
If you divide it north and south,
Yeah.
we're still in the
That's
conservative part.
That's true.
If you just cut the bottom right corner off, we're still in the conservative part.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. I think probably the line should probably go just west of Texas, probably follow the state line,
Okay.
kind of up and meander through the Midwest, and probably there all the way up to the Canadian border,
Okay.
then come over and dip down, cut Illinois out.
Illinois entirely?
It probably belongs on the other one.
Okay.
Come down and, like over the top of the Virginias and over to the coast,
Uh-huh.
and just kind of make that all one. It could be 3. I don't care.
Can
Or you could just
imagine?
leave one of the Dakotas. We don't really need the Dakotas.
Why don't we just have one Dakota?
Why don't we have one Carolina?
That's a good point.
Where's Old York?
England.
And is there really any question about whether New Mexico is the new one or the old one? I'm just saying.
I mean, geographically, they're pretty similar.
I'm just saying. There's some strange, but yeah, I mean, I would be all for that.
Yeah.
Look, good relations. I mean, we don't have to bomb each other. We can still even fight together.
Yeah. So kind of like what Hong Kong and China got going on.
Yeah.
Just like friends.
Yeah, friends.
But sort of.
Friends with benefits.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, well, I mean, share a military.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, they don't want to invade us. We don't want to invade them.
Right.
We're trying to get rid of each other.
Right.
But we also don't want to be invaded by North Korea. Liberal or conservative, whichever your agenda, you don't want to be shot with a nuclear weapon.
No. Well,
no, liberals don't want to be shot with a nuclear weapon.
I don't know. If there's going to be a nuclear weapon shot, I want them to shoot me with it.
You want it to hit you in the head.
Yeah. I don't want to survive a nuclear blast because I feel like the aftermath is way worse.
Hey, not only am I going to survive, I'm going to become the Incredible Hulk.
It's like it hits you in the head, but it doesn't kill you somehow. You just absorb all the power.
Just drives me down into the ground.
Oh, my God.
Like 10 years later, I crawl out of the hole and I'm superhuman.
Sounds like a video game. I think it is. Several of them.
Nuke Man. Okay, I got one more story, but go ahead. I mean, you want
got
to end
one
with
more
mine?
something?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I got to update.
Okay, this could be something I could get passionate about. So you go ahead with the update.
Save it for next week?
I'm going to save it
Is
for
it
next
time
week.
limited?
It's not time sensitive.
All right, we'll do next week then. I just want to give you an update.
As a matter of fact, the story that I'm going to read is from December of 2015.
Okay, so we'll tackle it next week. That'll be the first thing we do next week. To wrap up today's show, I want to give you an update, Chief, and I want to give you, the listener, an update because I know you guys have been wondering. I know you've been wondering about Marilyn Hartman. Remember Marilyn, our friend?
No.
Our friend who stows away on airplanes to
Oh,
London?
yeah. Okay, I didn't know that was her name.
So, Marilyn Hartman, guess what she just did?
She stowed away on another
She
airplane.
just got arrested at the Chicago airport once again.
No.
Yes, once again. Early on Sunday, just 2 weeks after she had that stowaway flight to London, she was taken into custody around 1:25 a.m., and she was refusing to leave the airport. She was causing disturbance. She was charged with misdemeanor, criminal trespassing, state land, and violation of bail bond. She appeared in court early Sunday afternoon. She was given a $50,000 bond and electronic monitoring. So she got a little anklet going on for the new trespassing charge. She was given no bond, providing the conditions of her previous bond. So that's interesting. So she's scheduled to appear in court again tomorrow on the 31st. Apparently, she yawned as she left court. So I'm beginning to think that maybe there's something wrong with her. Like I'm beginning to think there's a little bit of.
Okay, here. Okay.
What do you call this?
I don't know, but listen. Okay, let's 6 degrees of separation. Supposedly, every human being are only 6 relationships away from any other human being on the
Right,
planet.
Kevin Bacon, right?
Okay, what's her name?
Marilyn
Marilyn what?
Hartman.
Marilyn Hartman. Okay, listen. If you know someone who knows someone that knows someone that knows Marilyn Hartman, see if you can find her on Facebook. See if you can find her on Facebook.
Okay.
Because this is what I want to do. I want to get Marilyn Skyped into the show.
Oh, Lord.
Because there's something I want to ask Marilyn that I don't think the media has thought to ask.
What's that?
How many times has she actually gotten away with it? We're assuming that she's been caught every time she's tried this. How many times has she gotten away with this? Because if you listen, no one likes rejection. If you get caught doing something every time you do it, you're going to move on to something else. She's still doing it. I'm thinking she's had some pretty lavish vacations.
Perhaps so. The end of this article says that apparently there's some the sheriff's policy chief in Chicago is saying that she's probably mentally ill and that they don't think releasing her is the best course of action anymore. She needs to be treated. Can
you find her on Facebook? Mm-mm. Marilyn has no Facebook.
Not that one. There are lots of people with that name.
Okay, if you know someone who is talking about Marilyn on their Facebook,
yeah.
If you know someone who's talked about this lady that your grandmama knows, that's sneaking into airports, we want to know. I want to know a contact number because I want to call Marilyn and I want to talk to her.
You just want to know where she's been that no one else knows about.
Yeah, I just think she would be a great, entertaining listen.
You know, probably. And what's interesting about the London flight a couple weeks ago is that she wasn't trying to get on that flight. She
wanted to go to Connecticut.
Yeah, she was trying to get on a domestic flight, which she was apparently caught trying to get on it, and then ended up on an international flight the next day.
After she spent the night at the airport.
Right.
Where are Marilyn's kids?
I don't know.
Why is somebody not checking on Marilyn when she doesn't come home at night?
That's a good question. There's probably a lot to this that we don't know. It's really interesting. Your question is great, though. Where has she been? Because
I'm telling you. Okay, let's just. Okay,
she must have been successful. Why would you try it again?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she must have a record of success because even now, as she's thwarted, her escapades are stopped. Now she still continues to try.
Right.
So there must be a degree of success at some point.
Could I ask my wife out on a date? She said no. Chances are I would have tried again.
Yeah.
She said no a second time. I'd have probably tried again.
Especially
after the 10th time, I would have given up. But we know that wasn't, possible because it's me.
Sure.
She said yes.
Yeah.
Marilyn has been somewhere on an airplane.
She did not pay for.
That she did not pay for. She arrived successfully. And not only did she arrive successfully, she got back on the airplane and came home.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's how I want to close out today's show, Chief.
But no, I want to, okay, I just want to hold on. Marilyn is just,
this has really gotten you, hasn't it? It's mesmerizing.
She got to London.
Yeah. She made it.
She made it.
She didn't get to go in. But she did go there.
Because clearing customs is a whole different deal.
Especially in the UK.
I've never cleared customs at Heathrow.
Yeah,
but I would imagine
serious.
It's pretty tough.
It is. They're not nice. But they don't have to be nice. It's not their job. They're protecting the borders of their country, and I respect that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what happened? What would happen? Whose fault would it be if she had made it into London? And she comes back to the airport and says, I'm trying to go home. And they're like, what do you mean? Where's your ticket? Where's your passport? I don't have a ticket or passport, but
I've been here for 2 weeks.
I've been here for 2 weeks. United flew me over here for free. I need to go home.
I imagine you go home a different way in that situation. I don't think you ride the normal plane.
What if she had bought, while she was over there, an emotional support?
Well, that's how I want to end today's show. I want to ask you, the listener, and I want to suggest this woman who didn't get her emotional support peacock on the plane, you should probably get in touch with Marilyn Hartman because she has all the expertise your peacock will ever need.
Yes.
To gain access and entry with or without a ticket onto a flight.
I'm thinking next time you just take the peacock and put it on your head and call it a hat.
Or, plot twist, Marilyn is a shapeshifter and was the peacock.
Bam.
They knew it, and they just wouldn't allow it.
And they're like, Marilyn.
You
Not
even
this time.
What if the woman put Marilyn Hartman on the peacock's ticket information?
I'm telling you
there are a lot of possibilities.
Listen,
here.
I'm telling you what.
Tell me what.
I don't know if this is legal. We need to find out if it's legal first.
Okay.
But what we need to do is these companies that are often offering $29 flights.
Yeah.
Okay? We should go on there to find out who's flying from Chicago. That's where she's at, right? To anywhere else for $29. We should try to buy a ticket with the name Marilyn Hartman.
So she goes. She's trying to stow away on a flight.
And call Marilyn and let her know we bought her a ticket.
It would be funnier if we don't tell her. And she tries to sneak on and they're like, yeah, you're supposed to be on this plane. You have a ticket.
That blew my mind.
You know, that would be
My
great.
mind is blown. Yeah, Marilyn, come on. First,
Yeah, of course. We were
you
expecting
got a $39 seat.
free upgrade. You get the peacock seats.
Just so happens we got a seat that's empty. That lady tried to bring that peacock again.
The possibilities are endless, as is the discussion. And we
Wow.
appreciate you joining us on this adventure we call Third Thoughts Podcast. Remember to join us every week, Tuesday, live at 4 p.m. I will be here with the Chief, as always. Remember, Third and Long is in a weird place,
Yes.
and it will not be tomorrow morning, but we'll probably do one
After the Super Bowl.
after the Super Bowl, before the Olympics. There'll be a show,
Maybe.
maybe. Depends how good the news is.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Today's show was brought to you by some great agents in the field. And by the field, I mean various news apps and social media platforms who submitted stories. So if you do that, or you would like to start doing that, we will take submissions and maybe your story will make it onto the show.
And we will give you a shout out.
Yeah, you can join the conversation by giving us some content to go over. And perhaps you could even call in and maybe have a little spot of your own, but it depends on you. You have to get involved to be involved.
But if you can get us a contact number for Marilyn Hartman,
Chief is very concerned about that. If you can
get us in contact with Marilyn Hartman, we will buy you dinner at the reasonable restaurant of your choice.
reasonable. Also, if anybody can tell me what the name of the peacock is, I want to know what was on that ticket. Fill me in. If not, we'll see you next week, Tuesday at 4. We're out.